Life does not have to be perfect to still be wonderful. What does it mean for life to be wonderful? Is it possible for life to be wonderful? What makes life wonderful? This is what we're looking at today in the Encouraging Cup podcast.
Oh, it's a podcast! Excellent! I'm looking forward to it.
So apparently, life doesn't have to be perfect to still be wonderful. This is Wayne Logan of the Encouraging Cup Coffee Van. I've had not a perfect morning, but it was still wonderful. How can I say that? Well, I don't know. I don't know what perfection is. Doesn't it depend what your point of reference is, who you're comparing yourself with? Of course, there are things that are not perfect, and we're not going to downplay them. But is it possible that the life we have right now is wonderful? That our set of problems would be envied by many people in the world? That's what we're thinking about. There's a fellow called Nick Vujicic. He was born without limbs. He has one partial foot with two toes that he can use to type on a keyboard and grasp on things, and he does quite a lot with this. His body is far from perfect, and he went through some really dark days as a child, especially, even to the point of wanting to end it all. Very sad. But if you met him, if you've seen any of or heard any of his inspirational talks, maybe at a school or online, I think you'll agree he's a wonderful human being. There was one event where there was a child in the crowd who had exactly the same condition that he had. And they met up, and that child, you could just see that incredible amazement when that child realized, hey, I'm not the only one like this. I'm not alone. That can make such a big difference for us when we realize, the challenges I'm facing, I'm not the only one facing them. There are other people that have had them and they've been able to manage. Because that's the big thing, isn't it? When we've got these challenges, there's some part of us that says, look, we can't cope, we'll be overwhelmed. But when you see someone where you get that inspiration, that encouragement, that support that says, I can make a go of this. I can overcome this. I don't need to let this overcome me. That can make such a difference. See, life has ups and downs, and what makes a difference is the attitude we bring to life, what we do with what happens to us, how we play the cards we've been dealt with. We don't always get it right. We don't always spring out of bed raring to go every morning saying, yeah, it's going to be a wonderful day. Yay. No, sometimes it's pretty hard to even get out of bed. What can we do though? Even if we've never done this before, what we can do is decide, because we can always decide. We can just decide, what am I going to do with this day? How am I going to think about this day?
Is all I need to start the day. It's a quiet hope, a whisper in the soul, making me feel completely whole. No need for thunder, no need for the sound, just peace in every inch of solid ground.
What's going to be my attitude? See, it's not our aptitude that determines our altitude, but it's our attitude. What am I going to do with this day? What am I going to do in this stage of my life? There may be a whole lot of things in this time in my life that aren't wonderful. This set of circumstances, this hand of cards that I've been dealt with. What am I going to do with them? How am I going to play it out? There are variables, and we often think about the variables of things that can go wrong, but some of these variables could actually turn in our favor. And there can be some wonderful people that are just there, maybe around the corner or already in our lives, that really can make a big difference to our lives. There's a lot of stuff that can happen to us that can make life less than wonderful, a lot less. And we need to be honest about that. There are things that we wish never happened. There are choices other people made that have impacted us in a bad way, sometimes in a very bad way. There are choices we've made. And as we look back, we might think, oh, if only I'd decided differently. But we can't change what happened. But what we can do, we can think about what happened, and we can decide, I'm going to learn from that. And I'm also not going to let that event be the defining reality of my life. A bad start doesn't necessarily mean the rest of the journey is going to be bad. Start afresh every day, every moment. We can change tack, change our direction. So the question is, what is it that you would like to define you? There might be some part of you that says, look, you're not that wonderful. You never will be because of X, Y, Z. What about trying on another idea? You don't have to lock it in yet. Just try it on though. Then you might say, hey, this could be me. I can define myself by what I choose to do now, from now on and in the future. And, if I fall down, I can get up again. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. So we can tell ourselves what we decided in the past doesn't have to determine who we are now, who we are in the future. I mean, we can reinvent ourselves. So we have, well, how can life be more wonderful? Well, we might say, well, it can't be wonderful because I'm not wonderful. Maybe you are more wonderful than you dare to realize. Maybe you are someone's reason to smile. Well, how can life be wonderful? It could already be good. Could it be better? Could something happen that could make life better? What if waiting for us just around the corner, maybe right under our nose, was a new opportunity, a new person, a fresh perspective that could make a huge difference?
There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's calling to you and me.
What if today we could do something daring, something maybe a little bit out of the ordinary, outside of our comfort zone even, something that could make our life or the life of another person a little bit more wonderful. So what could make life a little bit more wonderful is reconnecting with us, with our thoughts, our feelings, with just becoming more aware of our bodies. Take a breath and realize, hey, that's pretty good to have a breath, to have a pulse. Yeah, that's good. So life can be wonderful as we do some simple things to reconnect with ourselves, to connect with others. We can do that through our technology, but sometimes in ways that are not modern technology, old school methods. What about meeting someone in person? We can't always do that when our friend is living in a different place. But simple ways to connect. Is life wonderful for you? This is what I'm saying. There's lots of ways that we can help our lives to be more wonderful, to even just a little bit. There may be things in our life that we're saying, look, there are things in my life that I just can't get rid of. And maybe we can acknowledge that, it's not about being all effervescent and on top of the world and everything's wonderful. No, but can we at least have a look and acknowledging that there's aspects of our life that are definitely not wonderful. And if we can change them, that'd be great. And we may not be able to change them. They may be beyond us. There's grief there to acknowledge. Can we also at least allow a little bit of room for things we can be thankful for? Is life perfect? No. Can it be perfect? No. Can it be wonderful? Well, in some ways. In every way, probably not. You don't have to use that word wonderful if it's a bit too much. But I suppose if you're still listening at this stage, you're probably okay, or at least you're putting up with it. But anyway, all right, let's say, what makes life wonderful for you? I asked that question to a few of my coffee customers. What makes your life wonderful already, or what might make your life more wonderful? And one said, look, that doesn't matter to me. It's already good. I'm quite happy with my life as it is. I've really got my family. I've got my health, my work. It's good. Huge amounts of money, that might be nice, but essentially what I really need, I've already got. And I'm grateful for that. I would call that a wonderful attitude. So another one said, I'd like to travel. That would be wonderful. I agree. It would be lovely. Here's another answer.
if I could get a house.
Our house would make it wonderful.
house, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I think that'd be what I'd want.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep.
Great.
Hear it here first, folks.
Yep, there it is. I'd like to buy a house. I agree. That would be wonderful. Okay, so can life be wonderful? Can life be more wonderful? We've already got a lot to be grateful for. And I hope we can, as a country and as families, and even within ourselves, I hope we can let tensions go. I hope we can just connect and gather together and affirm the things that are good. And then we can look at things that are not good and see if there's something we can do about them. Now, one area that I have mentioned already is family. And this is the question. Is it perfect? No, not perfect. Is it wonderful? Some level we might be saying, yep, yeah, I got a wonderful family, but maybe we haven't. It's not quite as wonderful as we'd like it to be. And I'm wondering, do you know that Disney film Lilo and Stitch? It's a children's film, like animated film from some years ago. They recently did a live action version and I really enjoyed it. I really like the story. It's worth watching. Based in Hawaii, is an alien creature escaping intergalactic authorities, and that crash lands on Hawaii. That's Stitch. And then there's a little girl called Lilo who befriends him and brings him into a family. And in the movie, they mention this word ohana. It's a Hawaiian word for family, which means no one is forgotten or left behind.
This is my family. I found it all on my own. It's little and broken, but still good. Yeah, still good.
Isn't that beautiful? This is my family. It's little and it's broken, but it's still good. It's still good. Yeah, Stitch was able to find a wonderful family, but it was still good. And I wonder if you can say that about your family too. So, what do you need? What do you really need to make your life wonderful, or just a little bit more wonderful? I'm suggesting that it can help to really take a moment and think about what we already have and see what is good in our lives. What do we already have? Be grateful for that. And then that other idea of thinking about, well, what can I do to help somebody else's life to be even just a little bit more wonderful? Yeah, so that's something that I'd like to encourage you and appreciate you listening to this. I hope it is really encouraging. That's what I want to do, is to encourage people. This is the Encouraging Cup podcast. Have a great day.